Hi guys, it's Travana Parker here with 9 Plus Family Banking Chronicles and Concepts. Of course, it's where I take you on a journey as I am learning more about the family banking concept in hopes to introduce them to my family and to just set us up on a better future, better path. As you guys can tell from the title, I passed my exam. Yay! I did pass my exam. Got my paper right here. And for those of you who don't know, passing my life insurance exam is very key because life insurance is the vehicle in which you set up your family banking system. And so I have gone on that journey to learn more about family banking, which is taking me on a major road of discovery. So you guys are here to learn how I passed my exam and also to get some tips on how you can pass your exam. At least that's the way I'm presenting the video. And I want to start off by saying this is not going to be a video about make sure you study this and make sure you study that and to make sure you study this and to make sure you study that because I think that it doesn't serve you as well as what I'm going to share will serve you. And I will say that when I showed my managing partner my score, he said it was the highest score that he had ever seen. And I'm only sharing that just so that I can let you understand that although I'm not going to say, make sure you study this was 60% or this was 70%, that what I'm saying to you actually does help. You guys know that I have a lot of responsibility. And so for me to be able to pass the exam on the first try did mean that I had to be strategic about what I did. So without further ado, the 5 ways in which you need to prepare to pass your life insurance exam on the first try. Now I did a life and health, so it was kind of challenging and easier at the same time because initially it took a lot for me to get down the life concepts. There's so much going on. There are policies, there are provisions, there are annuities, and there's so much. And you get all of that, and then you get off to the introduction of health, and you're like, I wish I could just take the life exam and then take the health exam. But I realized as I was learning more about health, it was really solidifying some of the concepts that I had learned in life. And so it really did work well. So the 5 things, I wrote them down so that I would not forget. I'm sure I'm going to miss some things, some of the details, but here we go. The first thing is to prepare your time frame. Now, depending on who you're working with, if you're doing this on your own or if you're working with a company, you may have more flexibility. Now, when I first got my information, it said that we suggest that you do this in a 14-day time frame. Which I knew was going to be tough for me. However, my managing partner said, I understand what you have going on. You take as much time as you need. So I'm so glad he said that because not only did I have things going on, but more things ended up being piled on during this process. One of the main things I had going on initially was, of course, I have a lot of children, but I had some other courses that I was taking. So it was very interesting. But prepare your time frame mentally and physically. So what does that mean? Mentally, know, okay, I'm going to do it in about this amount of time. I thought I was going to be really tough and hardcore and make it like, I'm going to do this 14-day time frame. I'm going to just do it. But that didn't work out. So I had to say that I was going to give myself double that time. So basically, from the day that I signed up for my certain platform to the date that I took my exam was almost a month exactly. So I knew for a month exactly that it was going to be a month exactly. And in order for me to solidify that to make that month happen, I had to first of all study, but I also had to schedule my test. Now that does 2 things. For one, it makes me say, okay, you have got to get this done because you have a test. But also scheduling the test helps me to be more practical with the time frame that I may have to deal with in the scheduling process. By that I mean, and I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to process. My notes are all scratched up. But they may not just have a test date the next day for you. It may be 2 to 3 week scheduling. And the platform that was I was using, it had an expiration date. So I did not want to get to a place where I waited too late and then I scheduled my exam and there was a time when I could not see the material because it had expired. And then I have an exam and now I don't know what to do. I didn't want the material to disappear from my mind, basically. And I think that is very important. And so I was about 50%, I think it was 58% of the way through when my managing partner said, you know, you want to make sure you schedule your exam because there may be a time frame and you don't want to, a waiting period, and you don't want to let the information disappear. So I'm glad that happened. So I chose to do it within a month and I scheduled my test about halfway through. So the first thing is prepare your time frame, both mentally, when you're going to get it done, and then act upon that by studying and scheduling your exam. The second thing is prepare your platform. For me, again, that was something that I did not have to choose because it was chosen for me. I will say that I did look into the platform. I used Excel Solutions. I did look into that platform before when I was contemplating learning more about the life insurance program on my own. So it is something that you can sign up for on your own. I, of course, had the pleasure of having that payment taken care of for me because I am joining a certain company. And so when you study the platform, I decided to trust the platform. I'm a note taker, but the platform on the first page, it says, do not take notes. Do not take notes and you'll be just fine. So I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I even talked to my daughter about it. And she said, well, you like to take notes. I think you should take notes and do what's comfortable for you. I said, no, I'm going to try to trust this platform and see how it works. So I trusted the platform. I did not take any notes. Now, there were 4 options for every chapter, and there were about 18 chapters that I had to go through, 10 for life and 7 for health, and then 1 that was just laws, specifications for my particular state. And so there was an intro video, the chapter to read, summary video, and then there was the exam. So I would go in, and before you can get to any chapter, or you have to do the previous chapter. So each chapter unlocks the next chapter. So what I would do, I would go in, and I kind of switched it up a little bit, but for the most part, I would watch the video. Not watch the video. I would take the exam to see how much I had known, how much I knew, because I had already been doing so much research on YouTube. So I would just go in, I would take the exam, see what I knew. Sometimes I passed, sometimes I didn't. And then I would go and I would watch the intro video, then I would watch the summary video, and then I would go to the chapter and I would read the entire chapter aloud. I know everyone's not going to do that, but for me and everything that I had going on, I read it aloud. Sometimes I was in the car, sometimes I was in my closet, sometimes I was walking, sometimes I was at the gym, just reading aloud. And it definitely helped. And then after that, I would go back through the videos and I would keep watching the videos and just kind of let the information just kind of stick in my mind. Now, while I'm re-watching the videos, I moved on to the next chapter. So I would do the same thing with the next chapter. Take the exam, watch the videos, and then read the chapter aloud. That's what I did the whole time for every single chapter. And some of those chapters were really short. Some of them were really long. Some of the times I just really was just exhausted. I did not want to go through with it, but I did for the sake of finishing this exam, and I'm glad that I did. So that's what I did. So that's the second thing. The first thing, prepare your time frame, both mentally and physically. Number 2, prepare your platform. You can choose from a variety of platforms. I've heard of people using a variety of platforms, but I chose to stick with what they gave me, which is cool because I had already been researching that one as well, but Excel Solutions. And then 3, prepare your reflection time. Now, there were some times when I was just too drained to do anything, and I needed that reflection time to just let things sit and just kind of just sit there and then give me the time to relax and just be me without study. And of course, there were times when because of everything I have going on, I had to give myself that. But also, in that preparing to reflect, I also did some review. So at the very end, I know there was reflection within the study, but at the very end, once I finished all of my chapters, and at the end they give you a final exam. Once you finish that, then it'll, for the program that I use, then it opened up some more resources. And it was called a review section, where it basically gave you the introduction video, the summary video, and then it also gave you another exam. It also gave you some, I don't think it was the introduction video. There's some cliff notes in there, but it gave you another exam, and this exam was different. It was more extensive. So, whereas an end of chapter exam may have been 20 questions, this time for the review section, it was 43 questions. And so you got a chance to go through that. I actually did go through all of those as well. There were webinar resources, so I watched some webinars on some of the topics that I really just felt like I didn't understand. So I went through, they had webinars for different topics. I didn't watch all of those. There was also an option to sign up for a virtual class, which I was so drained, I honestly missed. I wanted to go, but I missed it. And then I also used some other resources, which I'll share at the end of this video, kind of as a bonus. But those were the times I just had to reflect. So that's the number 3. Prepare your time frame physically and mentally, prepare your platform, and then prepare your reflection time, because you're going to need it so that you're not all wound up. And number 4, prepare your day. So again, I told you guys I will be sharing this information. I think I told you this, but to reflect, to help you to think of ways that you can pass, but also to just kind of reflect on my day. Prepare your day. So first of all, I got lost trying to get to the exam center. It's not even far from my house, but I relied on my cell phone and not myself. And so when I looked up the exam at the beginning, I looked up the address. It was not far. I said, I know that's that. I'll be good. Just tap it into my map, and my phone will just guide me right there to the doorstep. But unfortunately that day, a few days before, my screen had been broken on my phone for a couple days, or a couple months actually. And a few days prior, I got my screen fixed finally. But on that day, as soon as I got in the car, I found out that I had a bad screen replacement. So lines started shooting through my phone started flashing, my apps were not working, I couldn't get in there. And it was just horrible. I actually even ended up accidentally dialing 911 later that day because my phone was not working, but I couldn't get there. And so it was a mess, and I got lost. I finally made it there with enough time, which is a part of the reason I'm talking about preparing your day, because anything can happen that can slow you down, and you don't want to be there at the last minute being late, because they said 15 minutes. If you come 15 minutes late, you may not be able to take the exam. And so mapping out your clothing will save you time. Laying out your clothing will save you time. Letting your family know in advance what you're going to be doing will save you time, so no one's asking you for things or doing things. Someone called us that morning. I had planned on just kind of studying. And then someone called, we had a delivery. They said, well, they said they're going to come tomorrow, but they're coming today. Like, they're an hour away. So I had to plan for that in my day. And if I didn't organize myself for that day, I would not have made that, or that would have just thrown me off. When I got there, I'm walking in and I see someone else coming out with a mask. And I said, oh, we have to wear masks. I forgot. I run back to my car. I'm scrambling, just looking everywhere. Usually there's a mask. Sometimes there are like 6 masks in the car. There was nothing in the car at all. I'm under the seat, in the glove compartment, center console, back. I'm climbing under things. It was just very interesting. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I know I didn't have enough time to go back home. They specifically said, wear your mask, we're not giving you one. I found a head wrap. It's a head wrap. You put it on your head and you wrap it once and you wrap it again. So it's pretty long. I said, okay, here's my mask. I put my mask on, well, my head wrap on, put my glasses on, and walked in and got that squared away. So you definitely have to prepare your day. So as a recap again, you prepare your time frame, both physically and mentally. You prepare your platform and you work that platform. Prepare your reflection time. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it to make sure things stick in your head. And number 4, prepare your day. So finally, prepare mentally for the exam center. It was pretty intense in there. I know when I got there, they're really, just step over here, step back, okay, come closer, okay, show me your ID, okay, any other personal items, put them here, okay, take a picture, okay, stick your hands in your pocket and pull your pockets out. Okay, turn around, put your hands in your back pocket so the camera can catch that you don't have anything. Okay, scan the palm of your hand. Okay, it was just very intense. And I said, oh, it's really intense around here. She said, oh yeah, we run a tight ship. And she made me take off my glasses and I had to put them down and then we had to turn them so that the camera can catch whatever notes I may have had in my glasses. I'm not really sure. And then we go in and she says, it's gonna be quiet. You don't say anything. The cameras cameras and audio are recording you. When I get in there, I'm gonna put your ID down and you put your locker key next to that, only on the side where your ID is. And it was very interesting. So prepare yourself mentally for the room. I had already prepared myself for something like this just because my daughters had taken CLEP exams. A CLEP exam is when you take an exam so that you can get college credits and it'll save you money, save you time in college. And they're pretty intense there, but this was more intense. And so we get there and I get in front of the screen and there we go. The screen starts to, give me some instructions, some tips. I will give you guys these tips. Of course, I can't give you what was on the test. I will just give you these tips. First of all, the testing center was great. There were 3 main keys to work with. So there is a next button, a back button, a mark button, and I guess 4 keys because the review button was actually pretty key. Of course, next, you answer the question, you click next. Back, that you go back if you want to remember, you forgot something or you just, you can't, you skipped something, I don't know, go back. But the mark button, which was my fave, I was like a teenager, my favorite, or is that it? Probably teenagers probably don't say that, I don't know. But anyway, my favorite was the mark button because it let me mark the questions that I was struggling with. Whether I answered the question or not, I could mark it. So when I got to the end, I could go back and review those questions and it'll let me click on it to go back to it and answer it or change my answer. And of course, that's really neat because as you're going through a test, you may figure out, oh, this makes more sense. Something I answered back there really didn't. So that really helped me out a lot. And so when you get to the end of the test, again, mine was in 2 parts, it'll say, okay, you're moving from this part. If you move from this part onto the next part, you cannot go back. Please review your answers. And so I click the review button. It takes me to a list that shows me all the answers that I marked. And then I went through them one by one, either changed an answer or answered something that I didn't answer, and then I moved on. And then when I got to the second section, it did pretty much the same thing, but it says you're ending your exam. Is this what you want? At the end of that, there was a summary, not a summary, but a survey. How was the test? How was signing up for the test? Different things like that. How was the center? Different things like that. So that's that. And as far as the questions on the exam, I will say that the company that I went through thoroughly prepared me for the questions on the exam. Some of the questions were worded similarly, and if I'm not mistaken, some were actually exact. So I would definitely say that's the best way to prepare for the exam, by really going through the material, the pre-licensing material. So do I have anything else? Oh, that quick bonus. The quick bonus was the other videos. I used the video, I can't remember, I'll link them. There were 2 videos that I used one explained, well, there were two people that I really used. One person kind of went through her notes the exam, and she has said she's helped people in different states pass the exam, and the other one just helped to explain dividends to me. And I would say that neither of those videos really helped me on the exam. They just kind of helped me understand the material better. So they did help me on the exam. I think they're going to be more purposeful for me out in the field. That's just what I'm thinking, because they gave me things to think about, but the way they worded them, they were not on the exam, at least not on my exam. So I'll link those, Lord willing, in the description of this video. And I am hoping that all this information will help you. Again, I know I didn't go through 45% of this, 65% of this. I don't think that's essential. What I do think is essential is really preparing. So I'll go through those 5 things again. That is 1, prepare your time frame, both mentally and physically. 2, prepare your platform. Who are you going to use to train you? There are a variety of people out there. 3, prepare your reflection time. So make sure you take some time to review and reflect, use other resources, and just unwind sometimes. 4, prepare your day. You don't want to be caught haphazardly running around trying to figure things out on that day, because it's very important that you get there. And then 5, prepare mentally for the room and the exam. It's going to be quiet. You couldn't even leave your seat unless you raise your hand and they come in and get you. Pretty intense, not loud. They did give me some extra headsets to be there. But we were all adults taking some very serious exams, so we didn't really need those. Well, I didn't need those. I heard some people clicking, their mouse, but that's that. So I do hope this information has helped you to, as you prepare to take your life insurance exam. Of course, again, life insurance is very important to the family banking concept, and that's why I'm on this journey. And I hope that this information helps you. Please let me know in the comments if you have any more questions about it, or if this has helped you. I know it's a little different, but just let me know. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Keep your money safe. Bye now. Oh, please like, subscribe, and share the video in the channel.